You don't necessarily have to be a doctor to build a medical system. You don't need to be a financial expert to build a fintech solution. And we've seen that all around. Many of the people that have built great fintech solutions that we have today, they're actually not financial experts. A lot of people just want to code. They just want to build. They just want to spend all their savings on products and all that. No. What can you put together? How exactly are you running it today? That people are already paying for it, that you want to digitize. You should only digitize an experience that you know. Nigerians don't like to take loan. We are raised that way. It feels like whenever you take loan, you are actually going beyond your means. That's the way we were raised, which is actually wrong. I've seen situations where people went to borrow money to save in Ajo. Does that make sense? Now you want to build an app for these people, for them to be putting money there. It doesn't make sense to them. I mean, from even interaction perspective, it doesn't make sense to them. Not to even talk about using the app. You should go there and see that experience. Sit with those babas and mamas. Sit with the Alajo himself. Baba, how do you collect this money today? What are the challenges? They will tell you, because you need to know those challenges, and you should build your system around those challenges. So if yours is yours, let's make money. Also, and I've seen founders that they are trying to do this because maybe they want to leave their job. At least let me be able to feed myself and my family. No, never do that. People are actually, they have money. Trust me, people have money if you are truly solving problems. And people are willing to wait on your wait list like this, waiting for the day you accept them. Some people think that because they've just launched their MVP, at that particular, everything should be free on their platform. No. It's a value you're rendering. If you're on your platform, they are there because you are actually giving them value. Even for that limited features, please charge them. Where you are beginning to lose customers because you cannot handle their demands. That time you should know that it's time for us to automate our process, expand your processes and stuff like that. That is when you should build.
How many of us are very familiar with the argument that there are too many fintechs in Nigeria? Yes, everybody is familiar with the argument. It's just the question is a formality. We are all familiar with the argument, right? And personally, I think we don't have enough, but that's a conversation for another day. Now, something that conversation betrays is that too many people are solving problems that only exist in their heads, and people don't really want to buy. So someone starts a new payment app, they get a couple hundred users, hopefully they even get to 1,000 users and all of that, and the business flatlines at that point. And the reason for this is you build something that people didn't really want to buy. I once went for an event, and the entry ticket to that event was me downloading an app. I did download the app, but I never used the product, right? So it's very possible for you to build a product and you get a couple users, but they don't really use. Okay, not users now, because you have to use something to be a user. You get a few downloads, but nobody really uses it. And what this topic is looking at is just how do you go from I have an idea in my head to I have a product that people really want to buy, because there are two different things. And sometimes we mistake a great idea for a great business. You've probably heard people say there's a market in the gap, there's a gap in the market, but there's no market in that gap, right? So how do you make sure that you're not building a business that solves a gap in the market, but that doesn't have a market, right? So we have an expert to take us through the topic. Fortunately, he's technical, so he's not a business person. So you can't say it's because he's technical that he's biased towards you like doing some research before you could. He's technical. He has worked with Future Africa, and he now leads a startup studio where he basically helps startup founders build out their engineering teams. So he's a technical person. He's not biased towards the business side. So I believe we are going to get objective advice on how to do it. So my guest is Ismail Olasukanmi, and he's going to be coming up right now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Good evening. Good afternoon, everyone. As I said, my name is Ismail Olasukanmi, but I want to do a reintroduction. Is that okay? So I'm not only technical. Uh, so, so yeah, while I have engineering background, I've been building solutions on the continent for over 12 years now. For the past 6 years, I've been focusing more on the business and also the technical side of things, which is what I did at Future Africa. So we supported over 130 portfolio companies. And one of the things that we do for them is to scale their business from zero. As you may know, you must have heard about Future Africa, Accelerate Africa that we founded. But what made me to now start Deveote was actually the problem that I saw in the venture capital space. The venture studio, we have venture studio on this side, and we have development agencies on this side. Venture studios, they know business, they know the market, they know they can give you check, right? But they don't know how to build. Development agencies on this side, they don't know the business, but they know how to build. Then they are done building. Someone has to launch that product. Someone has to iterate on that product. Someone has to take your hands into some rooms that you may necessarily not have access to. Then it ends there. That's why you see some products just there. I mean, we have lots of products, and we are being approached every single day with different products. Just sitting there, nobody is using it. And I've had a couple of founders that will approach us and say, I spent all my money. I was actually with a founder yesterday. He's from Egypt. Aside the fact that he was working for Bank of America, I mean, I think he was earning about $20,000 per month because he was a senior manager there. He resigned to build this product. And then he has finished all his savings and he has taken loans, I think up to around $60,000. And the product is not still, nobody's using the product up to now. He approached us at Deveote based on what we do to work with these founders, right? We, at the idea stage, we sit with them and then we scope with them. Then we build that which we've scoped for them. Then we launch, then we iterate. That means we collect customers' feedback for them. And beyond that is that we take them to investors and to some rooms that they may not necessarily have access to. For example, next week now is blocked out because I'll be traveling to meet with some ministers in Abuja because of an healthcare startup that we're starting in Nigeria. We're just starting to look into the market. I did that as a preamble because I wanted to talk about before you code. Before you code, essentially, what comes to people's head whenever they think about an idea is, how will I build this? I'm sure many of us in this room, we've been in that situation before. Something came to your mind. I want to solve this problem. But the first thing that comes to your mind is, how can I build it? Especially if you have engineering background. I've been there. And here's the thing. There was a time I actually, because, I mean, I know the engineering part. I code well, right? An idea just popped up in my head. And not just that it popped up. I've actually been I've experienced it. And I thought about it. This is valid, given the fact that I have validated that it's a real problem and I should solve that problem. Is that not how it's supposed to be? Then I started coding. I built the first version. I used some languages. Particularly, I used Django, Python. I was like, oh, I need some things to be happening in the system. And because of the framework I chose, I was like, no, maybe I should use another one. I packed it aside. Then I started coding again. At this point, nobody's telling me anything. Nobody's validating what I'm doing. But because I've experienced the problem, I thought it was valid enough for me to solve it from my own point of view alone. So I used another framework. To cut the long story short, I built this system for 2 years because I was a perfectionist. And you know what perfectionist mean. Mine was super crazy to the extent that when I was still a bachelor, so I had this one small fridge in my apartment, and I used to buy water. Then I would actually align them like equidistant from each other. They must be equal. That's how mine was bad. There was one particular night I was super tired. I came back from the office, and I thought to myself, this night, let me just, because I just got water that night, so I just poured them in the fridge. They were just there. Closed the fridge, went to bed. I thought I would be able to sleep. I was just rolling around until I went back to arrange them to be equidistant from each other before I could sleep that night. For you to know how mine was that worse. So that also translated to how I approach products. Everything must be perfect. And after 2 years, fortunately for me, I met a friend who happened to be a product manager, very, very renowned product manager. I then talked to him about, we're just gisting. Not that I was actually ready to launch at that time. The product was perfect, but I was still looking for, let me revamp, let me do this, let me do that, so that everything will be good. So I was just gisting with him, and I said, look, I'm actually building a particular thing. I don't know where it's going to lead, but it's good now. I think I'm ready to launch. He asked me a few questions. He said, up until this moment, who have you talked to? I said, talk to us how? I actually was born into this problem. I grew up in this problem. I've experienced it almost my entire life. That is enough. Is that not supposed to be? But no. He said, no. You don't do it like that. A part of me that day, I wasn't taking that advice really well, but at least I wanted to ensure that conversation follows. I said, okay, let's do this. I'm going to launch this product for you. I didn't understand what he meant by I'm going to launch this product for you. I was like, let's announce on social media, let everybody start, because I thought it was an idea that everybody would start jumping on. He said, let's launch this product, but we're going to select few people that we're going to launch with. That's beta. And then from there, we can launch the rest of the world. When we picked, I think he picked 20 people for me or somehow. And then we launched it with these people. They were actually going through that problem. That was valid. So my assumption was valid that they were going through that problem. But guess what? They wanted me to solve it in a different way. And the way they wanted me to solve it will require me to go back, break everything down, then start coding all over again. I said, sorry, pardon my French. I said, fuck it. I'm not doing it. Now, that was the end of that product. The first thing that you need to start to think about is that, is there a problem here? I was right by discovering that that's actually a problem. And people validated that that problem is valid. Is that it? But how do they want me to solve it? That was a part that I missed out. But if they told me how they wanted me to solve it, would they be willing to pay for it? I think that's actually the part that many people always miss. You want to build a product, you've not thought about how would people actually pay for this thing? Are they willing to? Last year, we launched a product in Future Africa. And that was actually early last year. We launched a product. And because of how interesting that product is, we put $500K at the back of that product as a funding, $500,000. So I kicked against it because I was meant to support that startup, at least as the CTO of the firm. I was meant to support that startup to ensure that they build right and they launch right. It was meant to be for young people between age 20 to age 30. I said, look, these products you're building, people that you're looking at, they will not pay for it. They will be excited. Okay, let me tell you a bit about the product. And we will all validate it in this room. Maybe except Baba here. he may not have a sense of what we would have. And you will understand what I mean by now. Okay. There's a particular company, a real estate developer on the island. So they build in prime areas like Eco Atlantic City, like Ikoyi and the likes. So the apartments, you can get me to the next slide. So the apartments are usually very, very expensive. Imagine buying one apartment, just condo apartments, not the fully detached apartment, like condo apartment for $500,000 and all that, $250K for one bedroom, I guess. So they realize that oftentimes people that approach them are like elderlies that have money. So they wanted to target tech folks that are between age 20 to age 30. And how do they want to do that? They want people to be able to save money with them, especially people that are earning in dollars. To be able to save money with them over a period of time. Guess what? Over 15 years. You can save your money over 15 years. It's revolutionary. There's nothing like that in the world. Nobody will. And because of inflation, so you save in dollars, and the price, you lock in the price over time, and then at the end of the day, I said to them, this is good. You're actually giving a good platform to young folks, and they will really, really appreciate it. But people that you're targeting, nobody's going to save for 15 years. 15 years, even 2 years, they're doubting it. And the person that was leading the product is actually like a very elderly person, someone that is close to 60 or even above 60. Said, they're going to do that. I said, sir, during your time and even at your age, people can save money for even 50 years. If you're asking elderlies to save this money as like trust for their children, I said that is valid. But for the children to put money over 15 years, we launched the product. But something happened. And that's part of the things that I'm going to be talking about today. Something happened when we're about to launch. We threw a dinner, big dinner. Some people joined from all over the world, especially people in diaspora. They joined. And we collected about 1,000 users, potential users on waitlist. So the Baba came back to me. You see, people are truly interested in this product. See the numbers. Numbers can never lie, We have 1,000 people on the wait list. I said, okay, no problem. Maybe I may be wrong. Maybe, just maybe. We launched this product. Now, let people start to put money in this product. No, even $1. Nobody puts money there. People will be excited by what you're building. Maybe because of your reputation, for one reason or the other, they will be extremely excited that they will put their name down, their email down. They don't care about that. That's fine. But the problem is, ask them, put money out. Come and drop your money. That's when you really know whether you're solving true problem or not. Two things. So, people always attach software, which we know as applications, website, web applications, mobile applications, desktop applications, whatever it is. They always attach it to what with the term we call product. That is not it. So when I tell you what products are you building, you want to tell me the tech. Because that's the norm. We have one AI now it's the norm now. If you don't say AI powered, you are not building anything. They will ask you, what are you building? AI powered, that will revolutionize, that will, we hear a lot of that every day, So, but the true meaning of product is not that software you're building. The product that we know to be product is the solution itself, the solution within whatever it is that you're doing. Whether you're doing it online, which is software, or you're doing it offline, you are actually building a product. So, how does this work? We're going to talk about it. The second thing you should be thinking about when you think about products, which I already talked about, is willingness to what? To pay. Are they willing to pay? So give me the next slide. So, but before you now start building, what are the things that you should consider? The first thing is that Is this a clear problem? There are some problems that are not clear. Don't go there until you have clarity in that problem. And that's why, and I'm going to give you a pro tip, especially for some of you that you've been building and you're at the point of raising money. One of the things that we always consider in Future Africa and also Accelerate Africa is, this founder, does he have or does she have like pro knowledge of what is built? You don't necessarily have to be an expert. You don't necessarily have to be a doctor to build a medical system. You don't need to be a financial expert to build a fintech solution. And we've seen that all around. Many of the people that have built great fintech solutions that we have today, they're actually not financial experts. But what exactly have you done that made you to be the one that people should trust? Now, I mean, I just want to give you a very quick example. When I launched Deveote, I didn't just launch Deveote because I wanted to have a company. I had a very good job. Do you understand? So I was extremely comfortable, but I wanted to solve a particular problem, not just because I thought about it because I've learned my lesson after all the experiences, right? So, but the reason why I actually launched was because I already had people dropping money and telling me we need this. So let me tell you a quick story. I always like to be very practical when I'm talking. So we were doing venture capital and stuff like that. And we realized that whenever we give out money to founders to go and build, to go and do whatever they want to do, this money, they come back saying, maybe after a year, they've been trying to recruit tech talent. And I know some of you would have that issue as well. They've been trying to build. One thing would just happen. They will not have product after a year. And they will come back to us that money is finished. That money is finished. So it's a big problem. Then our money is wasted. What next? So I thought about it. I said, who are the people that are actually building for these folks? Nobody. They will now leave Nigeria. After they've done all the things with technical talents in Nigeria, they will go to India. Indians are crazier, even than Nigerian talent. So they will come back, no product. I was like, okay. So I talked to him that time. I said, we can actually build a business around it here, whereby we take these people in and we build for them. So, but the concern due to compliance and all the other optics is that Future Africa itself cannot build for these folks. So I started another company called Living Labs inside Future Africa at that time, a different entity on its own. So this entity is meant to be that you've raised from Future Africa. We tell you this is a different company. Do you want us to build your solution MVP within 3 months? Choose. And we'll tell you, pay 20K, pay 30K, pay 10K. We've given you 500K. So paying 20K out of it shouldn't be a problem. But we will gladly help you to set up your team if you want to build on your own. Because that's my duty to do that. So I then realized that many of them will first go out to go and try their luck. And they will come back to us. And at that time, because of the structure of the company, I could not expand this bit. Then I was forced to then reject some projects. I didn't realize that a lot of people were coming. In my mind, I said, how can I scale this? That's actually what gave birth to Deveote today. Because there is business knowledge over time, and also there is technical knowledge. So when I moved out, and that's why when I announced that we are in partnership, still in partnership with Future Africa and Accelerate Africa. So people should not think that, oh, this guy is leaving and whatever it is, right? So I took out the entire function so that any needs of Future Africa and Accelerate Africa, they still bring it to Deveote. So I didn't start that because I thought, because I know this, no. People, there was money on the table. It's just for me to take it. But it wasn't just all about money. Is it solving a real problem? So that's what we're talking about. And we've talked about for you to confirm the willingness to pay. We're going to talk about the next one, but I want to go to the next slide now. So you need to test minimal solution. Yes. So how do you do that? I started with the fact that a lot of people just want to code. They just want to build. They just want to spend all their savings on products and all that. No. There are a couple of things that you can do. You have an idea in your head. Let's say maybe a consulting business, maybe whatever it is, I don't know. E-commerce, whatnot. What can you put together? How exactly are you running it today? That people are already paying for it, that you want to digitize. You should only digitize an experience that you know. If you're not taking anything out of this meeting, please take this out. Only digitize an experience that you know. How are your customers behaving when they come to you? How are they behaving? You should know that. What exactly are they always asking for? So then you can build. What are those things that can help you really quickly? Maybe just because you need to shop, to maintain your steez, you need to have a website. Have a landing page. Use Webflow, use Card, use Lovable. Just a landing page talking about your business. I can tell you recently, a startup in the United States, which I helped recently, the guy, when he wanted to start, so he actually, when he came to me, he had a conference, international conference of real estate folks, agents in the United States. It was actually the biggest one. And he was meant to speak at that conference. So he wanted to use that avenue to introduce his product. But his product is actually a very complex one. Do you understand? So he then thought about it. It was like a month or 2 months to that program. He said he's just starting. He has not even built anything. How is he going to do it? I said, here's the thing. I said, we've done this before. And I will tell you how to do it again. And you're going to make it here. He said, how are we going to do it? I said, you know the market quite well because he has been doing research for, I think, a year or so. It's a very complex solution. I said, what we're going to do is we're going to design that stuff on Figma. We're going to prototype it. You're going to put that prototype on your phone. When you go to that event, show it to people. Let them click around. This is the experience. 2 things you're going to have in that meeting. You're going to have people telling you how they want that product to be done. You know, he has not built anything. How much to just design? If you have a friend or so, they will just fill screens. We are not designing the entire experience. You click on this, you get to this. When you get this, you get this. I said to him, 2 things you're going to get out of this. People are going to tell you how they want it. You're going to record that. Including the fact that they're going to tell you how willing they are to use that product. Then you can get to the monetary part, which is the financial part. Are they willing to pay? And because it's actually a very big event, you also meet investors there. I'm glad I told him these 3 things because we've done it before. And he achieved the 3. I mean, the day he called me, he was shouting. He showed them only Figma design. People gave him feedback. He told me he got an association that has over 200,000 users on their platform, and they are moving all their users to his platform that he has never coded. He doesn't have any products. Remember, product is not software. So that was the first thing. He got investors right there in that meeting. He then sent a message to me a week after. He took a screenshot and he sent to me. And the person was telling him that I actually reached out to a friend of mine because I forgot to collect your number at the event. I reached out to a friend of mine who might have known someone you exchanged your number with at that event, just for me to reach out to you. Remember, this person didn't get his contact from that event. He had to reach out to someone that knows someone that got the contact from that event. just to reach out to him. And the person was telling him that he's been running an organization that has body of users. This is another body of users that are waiting when, in fact, he has pitched the idea to those folks without even talking to the founder of the product, because it was exciting. But the only way he could know the idea was exciting was because he had Figma design. So you ask yourself, what exactly do you have? Is this something you can run on social media? Is this something you can run on WhatsApp? I met a woman last year. I was advising at Cascader Accelerator program. And this woman actually makes nothing less than $1 million in a year. Nothing less than $1 million in a year. And when they will send me all their pitch deck and everything, so I didn't first understand what I was seeing, because what this woman does, it doesn't have any product. It doesn't. Sorry, let me not use the word product. It does not. She does not have any software. She's actually running some training, but the training that she runs is actually an essential training, and she makes up to $1 million per year. So she came to that meeting because she has gotten to a point whereby she's overwhelmed. That's a good problem to have, isn't it? When they're doing accounting, nobody is sleeping anymore. You should get to that point. That same last year, maybe you will know this person, but I don't want to mention name. This person, she does car rentals, but she's an aggregator. She's not the owner of the cars. Happens to be the most popular in Nigeria today. But there is no platform that is effective. Remember, I didn't say there is no platform. The platform they have right now, it's some sort of WordPress tacked together type of platform. So even people that are actually reaching out to her, they're not reaching out to her via the platform. They're reaching out to her via the phone. And it was based on trust that I know this guy now. So that's actually the way people are approaching her, because they know her very well. So imagine a CEO that cannot sleep till like 3 a.m. So she told me, because she came to a particular dinner where I was talking to him, and he said, go and meet Abe. That's the person that will solve your problem. So when she was talking to me, said, my brother, because that was the first time we were meeting, said, I could not sleep for 3 days last December because all the dignitaries, investors around, they came to the country. So they were getting cars. So why she did not sleep? 2 things. Because people were requesting on WhatsApp. That's the first thing. The second was that they were doing accounting. Because they need to settle the owner of the cars. And this settlement is not something, those people, they don't have patience so much. It's something you must do maybe a day or 2 after you've gotten their cars. I said, my sister, you have a good problem. I said, how is your traction? I always ask. I told about the other time. How has your traction been? He said, that one has never been their problem. He said, they have like people booking every time. In fact, at that particular point in time, they were still trying to get more cars on their platform. You now see clearly that this is totally against my profession, because I'm supposed to be selling software to you right now that you should build. You should go crazy on building mobile apps and stuff like that. But that's not it. So just have some landing page. But if you do not create enough trust for people to trust you into the space you are delving into, they are not going to follow you. They will need you to now put some shiny stuff before you. And that will be a major problem for you. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, people should be able to trust you. When we were starting Future Africa at that time, I'm going to tell you a little bit of story around that as well. We faced a little bit of bottleneck, but a good one. He has done Andela. He has done Flutterwave. Now, we actually started at Street Capital, which you might have never heard before. We're doing something different at that time. So he called me, he said, Abe, I need to go into venture capital. While I've heard that name before, but really not something I understood really clearly. When I started browsing about it, I was like, venture capital, seeing all those things. I said, okay, no wahala, let's do it. But the problem we faced was that a lot of people trusted in so much that everybody on the team that have been allocated for one particular duty or the other were ignored. Ignored in a good sense. Imagine we want to take an investment. There's a dedicated email that people are supposed to send their pitch deck to, and they're supposed to explain whatever they're doing, but they're sending it to him on WhatsApp. Imagine that. It does not have the capacity to read everything. People want feedback immediately. So we now have a lot of startups that are waiting. We now have a couple of investors that are also waiting. They are reaching out to one person because they trust him so much. And then at some point, we now had to attach an EA to him, that's executive assistant to him, that anytime you see somebody approaching him like this, please tell them that you should send an email to this. So I'm just essentially telling you today that idea in your mind, the first thing you should think about is not software. Think about, okay, let me have a landing page. Let me have an official email. Okay, you want to do some sort of paid, like telemedicine. Let's even pick telemedicine, for example. You want to do telemedicine right now. When I said telemedicine, the first thing that came to your mind is building some mobile app, people just sharing video. Can you see my pain? Can you see this? Can you see that? Doctor, what can you do? Oh, I will direct you to a pharmacy, and the pharmacy is near you. They will deliver to your house. But you can actually start that platform without writing a line of code. I'm going to tell you how to do that. Say you have a landing page. You have Calendly. You know Calendly, right? On Calendly, you can attach payment to Calendly. That anyone so there will be paywall. So before you proceed to even schedule a meeting with me, you already pay. And then that's the only time that you can see my calendar, and then you can schedule a meeting. When you want to schedule the meeting, Calendly has this option to either choose Google Meet, Zoom, even some other platform like you can choose WhatsApp. You understand? You've done this. You've actually built a telemedicine, but you didn't know. Let's walk through the flow. A user jumped on your website. They see that CTA that say access doctors here. They clicked on it. They get to Calendly. Calendly asks them, for you to access this service, pay $10. They pay the money, and then they schedule the meeting. Then you jumped on Zoom. You can see them. They can see you. 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes of telemedicine session. You're done, and that's it. For the feedback and follow-up, you are able to follow up with them, maybe on WhatsApp, maybe via email, and you can use maybe Airtable or Excel or whatnot as your database of customers. You know why I mentioned that at last? Is because you must keep that database. Every interaction you have with them, you must note it down. So that at the end of the day you're now ready to build that shiny software, you have your rich customer base to move over. That's the only time. Let's move on. So, when you want to validate your idea, there's something we call customer discovery. And this is the time you would understand how your customers truly behave, how they want you to solve that problem, which was what I missed in that product that I narrated to you the other time. How they behave, who they are talking to, the software they're currently using, or the process they have today. Let's say you want to build some sort of like savings application I'm using the word application now. You want to build a savings product, let's put it that way. You want to build a savings product for people in rural area. Let's think about that for a minute. Now, the reason why you are building this because they are not, they are unbanked folks. They don't even have BVN, they don't have NI, they don't have bank account, but you want to build savings products for them. You know, the first thing that comes to people's mind, because I've met with a lot of founders that want to do this, and they say, I will just ensure that they can open my app with limited, what's it called, connectivity. They don't have smartphone. They don't even have power to charge their phone. But there is something you must learn about them. You know, they always have needs that are urgent because they are not as financially educated as many people are. So there is always an urgent need. Maybe they are farmers. They want to get some quick loan to be able to farm so that they can get profit and return. So they want a platform, a system that can quickly give them that money. And trust me, there is a method they use today, and that's what they call Ajo. You know the reason why they do Ajo? Is because, and mind you, the Alajo takes 10% of their money. They don't mind. Put yourself in that position where you have to be the one taking that 10%. But why don't they mind the Alajo taking the 10%? It's because when he contributes, we're 10. We're contributing. I will go and tell the man, the collection man, saying, please, I need this money by so day. Please give me this number. If that is familiar with you, if you're familiar with it, please give me this number. Sometimes they will give you out of their free will, but sometimes you must give them some commission for even getting that number. Imagine, on top of my money. But what that means is that for all our contribution, it gives me, because here's the thing, Nigerians don't like to take loan. We are raised that way. It feels like whenever you take loan, you are actually going beyond your means. That's the way we were raised, which is actually wrong. Which is wrong. We are not doing financial education today, but it's wrong. So, people don't want to take loan, but they want a safe space where they can actually take loan. Because what they are taking is loan. We are 10. I'm the first person. I carried all your money to use. But trust me, they're still going to. I've seen situations where people went to borrow money to save in Ajo. Does that make sense? Now you want to build an app for these people, for them to be putting money there. It doesn't make sense to them. I mean, from even interaction perspective, it doesn't make sense to them. Not to even talk about using the app. You should go there and see that experience. Sit with those babas and mamas. Sit with the Alajo himself. Baba, how do you collect this money today? What are the challenges? They will tell you, because you need to know those challenges and you should build your system around those challenges. I have one particular guy that we're currently helping in Deveote today. The guy is just cashing out. You know how he's cashing out? He still doesn't have software. And he told me, he said last year they made, I think, 800 million naira. He said this year, just this year that we've not gotten to half of it. He said they've made close to 1 billion naira. And they don't have software. Let me tell you how the guy is doing it. He's giving loans to people, but you use your car. You must have a car as collateral. So he now did something. Because the guy has been in auto industry, selling cars and all that, right from his school days. So there is something in the policy, which he was actually the first person to tell me about that policy. So they will go through some things with FRSC and all that. So they will re-register that car. It's not like total re-registration. But that guy cannot sell that car to another person again until he's done paying them and they clear his name. Because it's been there. So he's now giving loans to also car dealers, because car dealers need loan now to get cars into their lot, right? And then sell the cars and then give back. So when he gives that loan, all the cars that they bring in, as they are coming in, like, because he also monitors them to even the co-parts or whatever, wherever they buy the cars, he monitors them to that point that they actually use his money to buy those cars. As they're arriving in the country, it does that kind of registration again. They cannot sell that car. They can sell it. Let them sell it. So the new owner of that car cannot register that car until they come back, because it will show at FRS's side that this car is pre-owned, and you must get approval from the owner before they can give you that certificate. Is that not smart? So which means you have a car, you don't need to put your house there. And it gives some rest of mind. So now he's coming to us to build software. Does that now, it makes sense. That is what they call quick money. You're now seeing that. So as I'm telling you all these stories, I want you to be using it to validate yours and your journey so far. Okay. So ask about their current solution. How are they solving it? We've talked about it. Discuss the true cost. Mama, how much are you paying for this job that you're doing? They take 10% though, but we don't mind. They will tell you, we don't mind. So ask them about that. And if you now want to approach them, you can then tell them, my own solution, because yours is more like modern, digitized, and more interesting. My own solution, I allow you to then earn interest on. That may not fascinate them at first, but when you now tell them that the same experience they're having with Ajo, they would still have the same experience. But instead of 10%, you are charging 5%. And they still have interest. And they can even take loan at any point in time. They will jump at it, in as much as you are not saying, go and download some apps, go and do this, go and do that. Set up some agency around them. The guy that they know. Don't go and bring one guy from the city to go and sit with them. It will never work. We've tried it and it didn't work. That guy, that brother in their area, coach that guy, train him for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even a month. Let him set up maybe like a kiosk or so, which is what many agency banking are doing today, because they've studied these guys. Let him sit with them. Let him be the coordinator, because he knows their house. He knows their children. He knows people to pick whenever there's an issue. And these people, they don't have anywhere they can run to, because they are dealing with people in the rural area. Is that not it? So ask them about the true cost. So this is the part that many people want to shy away from. Okay, let me give a note of warning. When you are doing this customer discovery, please and please don't do it with your family members. They are proud of you. My son is doing this. You are doing well. That's what you will get. I'm saying this because, as funny as it might sound, I've seen a lot of founders doing this. They want to build a product. They gather their friends. They gather their family. Because these people, they love you so much that it's not that they are lying to you. They will use it if you build it. We've actually built a savings and investment product in the past. But it was actually our family members that were using it. Yes. And the entire company went bankrupt. You will get them to support you. But step outside of that, your clique. Ask strangers. In meetings like this, talk to maybe 2-3 people. This is what I'm working on. Would you be able to use it? But don't just ask them directly like that. All these things that we've listed, ask them. But don't shy away from, how much would you be willing to pay for this? Don't shy away from it. People shy away from it all the time. If you check our website on Deveote, which is quite unconventional, you will see the price, like at least minimum price you're going to be paying when you approach us. So we are not shy. It's not something we should be shying away from. Do you understand what I'm saying now? If you have it, come. If you don't have it, stay. Day your day. So you will now understand, because people will waste your time. Especially if you're building a venture that has a bit of service around it. There are some platforms today in Nigeria, especially the ones that deals with immigration. To even have 30 minutes call, even 20 minutes call, you pay 90 something dollars. Is that not? That's good, but you will shake a bit, but you still do it because you want to do what? You want to japa. So ask them about this, and then this is the most critical part, and I will give you a story around it as well. You should always find at least 10 customers. I'm not just saying people that are saying, we will use it when you build it. Okay. It's either they drop the money now and tell them I'm going to give you a month free, whatever, when I launch it. That's the one. We've seen that happen a couple of times. The other one is how much would you be willing, which is the first, previous step. And they're saying that if you build this today, I will give you so amount. That's what I'm willing to be paying. You have your customers there. But don't just build on, don't worry now, we'll use it. No, if you build it, they're not going to use it because money is involved. Have your at least 10 customers. In fact, if you can shoot up to 100, that will be great. Build around those people. And if you're building B2B, this is actually the trickiest part. If you are building B2B, the reason I said it's trickiest is that there is always change in management in businesses. So imagine you go to Cloudplexo and say, we want to partner with you. And on this note, this is the amount that we want you to be paying for so services and all that. Okay, they're fine. Because now you're talking to someone you know. You spent, maybe you are that type, and I will tell you, maybe shortly, you should never spend more than 3 months. I'm talking about when you've even graduated to building your software. Never spend more than 3 months on building software. But let's say you've spent 4 months, 6 months, even close to a year building this product. That guy you know, is looking for greener pasture. He has moved from that place to another company. Now you are left with people that don't know you, that have different interests. Especially when you're dealing with big enterprise. You've built around their needs for this period of time. So that's the reason why we always advise, ensure that you have that close relationship. Lock things down. Write MOU. Let them in fact, there are certain times that when we have a very good relationship with that company, we always ask them to put money down so that we can build with them and give them some discounts along the way. You would think that they will not do it. Many of them are doing it. We had a deal with MTN last year. So a founder came to us. The founder happened to, he's from Rwanda, but he lived a bit in Congo, Brazzaville. He then realized that people in Congo, Brazzaville, they always have problem because sometimes they have 2G. Imagine at this age and time, people working with 2G. So they cannot stream Netflix like you and I. They cannot just pick up their phone and just call people on WhatsApp. So he then saw this problem. He realized that because he has actually worked at MTN before, so he understands the connectivity issue and he knows where the issue is coming from. He was like, what if, and a lot of people are actually paying huge amounts of money to some people in that country just to watch a movie. Imagine gathering together just like we are gathering here to watch movie. Not cinema. Just to watch movie on Netflix. So he then thought about it. He said, what if I gather this premium content, partner with the content provider, then put it on MTN server? He's not putting it on AWS. So he's putting it directly on MTN server, and MTN would help him to distribute it, which means if you have MTN line, even if you have 1G, you can still stream. You see how interesting that idea is. But trust me, it's difficult to do. So, to do that, there's a lot of infrastructure that he needs to put in place and stuff like that. Then he went back to MTN and he said, this is what I want to do. People are going to use your line more, and people are going to enjoy themselves using it, and they're going to spend more. Remember, you're using money to actually stream. It's not for free. So it's not lack of money that they were unable to stream. It's just that there wasn't an infrastructure for such. Now, he knows for sure, because he's talked to a lot of people, he knows for sure that, in fact, they're already paying at those gatherings where they go to watch a movie. He said, I will drive customer to you. Just give me your infrastructure and help me to push this out. But I don't have money with me. How much are you putting on the table? MTN Congo Brazzaville put money for him. They gave him money to go and build it. He built for Congo. He moved to another country. MTN in that country. So he was moving to Nigeria that time. That was when he met us. That's a real problem to solve. You understand what I'm saying now? Have your customers before you start building. Let's go. So, monetization. How do you actually make money? So some people just build thinking, we're going to make money. No, it doesn't work that way. Which means any money they bring to you, you accept it. We're talking about value, real value. If at all what you're building is real and is valuable, trust me, people must pay. And what will help you is to have your revenue target. How much do I want to be making every month? Set it out. So when I wanted to start Deveote, I said, okay, by the end of the year, I wanted to be like a little bit conservative, right? That at least based on the customers that are already on ground, that were ready to pay. I said, by the end of the year, we're going to make a certain amount of money. But the day we launched, I think I was talking to some of my friends, I was telling them that I actually didn't sleep overnight the day we launched. Even though we had CRM in place that we're using to manage it. But I do not want to reject people's idea just because I have lots of people. I want to actually go through everything. I want my team, because we have steps, level of assessment. I want my team to assess, pass it on to me, then we'll give report back to. So it was really tedious. So, but to cut the long story short, within just a month and a half, we've actually achieved what we have planned to, our target for the entire year. Then what we had to do is that, okay, this is juice now. Oh yeah, let's expand. I was actually thinking we're going to start that expansion by next year. But we did that just shortly after launch. And then we started to expand our target. Now we are on a very high target. And just last month, we thought to ourselves, because we had some things in the pipeline, and that will actually, if we get that will actually, how will I do the multiple of this? Like times 10 of the end of the year target. Which means if that thing happened today, we need to still expand our target. But the target we had initially wasn't small. It was not small at all. And that's the reason why we could talk to people the way we talk to them. That was the reason why we could put all our energy in what we do. And that's the same thing that should be yours. So if yours is yours, let's make money. Also, and I've seen founders that they are trying to do this because maybe they want to leave their job. At least let me be able to feed myself and my family. No, never do that. Never do that. People are actually, they have money. Trust me, people have money if you are truly solving problems. And people are willing to wait on your wait list like this, waiting for the day you accept them. How many people, maybe in this room, how many people that waited on ChatGPT to be accepted when they just launched? I was part of it. I was praying. Imagine, my money is here, I want to pay. Imagine you praying that they should accept you. Because I actually wanted to be part of the first people they will take in. Imagine that. Your product should be like that. But you have to actually work with a target, you should test pricing models. So in the course of you running your system, running your company manually, talking to people manually, dealing on WhatsApp, there's a particular lady. So she was lucky. I hope I'm still within the time. So she was lucky that our product was super needful, if I will put it that way. So she went ahead to build a portal. She actually does like some sort of logistics, intra and inter nations. You understand? So she built a platform. She had a mobile app. You download our mobile app. You go to our portal. You do this. You do that. But she was lucky because she has been in that space before. But what she didn't know was that she was launching for both B2C and B2B. So her target at that time, because she's been doing B2C where she was working before, so her target at that time was B2B. Now she has built this shiny app. Only for her to discover that whenever they want to send something from Lagos to Abuja, they will just snap it, send it to her on WhatsApp. She has built a platform for them to even enter the weight, enter the location, because she has integrated Google Maps API that she can use to estimate the distance and then give them the price. These people, because they are sending a lot of things, a lot. So they will just snap it. Please send your boys to come and pick these things up from our office. So it then became headache. I was advising her actually at Cascader Accelerator program as well. And it became headache for her because she doesn't know how to manage the weight, how to manage the distance, and how to give them the price. But if she has actually done it offline before, that B2B level, she will have known that this is the way they do their things. And you should build around that. So we now started to sit together to see how she can digitize that process. Because what she had, what she has spent money on, what you have also spent money on is not working. Now you need to build around their behavior. So you, at this particular time, you need to test different pricing model. Maybe it comes to you with something that is bigger than what the other person has come to you. Just push it to him, test him. Okay, can you pay $20? The other guy paid $10. Comfortably, he didn't complain. See if he's going to complain. Okay, I will give you a discount. Pay 15. Another guy came. He's already telling you that, I don't have more than $15. Another one. So you will now begin to realize that, okay, it seems like there is something people are comfortable with around $15. Let my pricing model be $15. So when you're building, you build around that. So create value early. So see something. Some people think that because they've just launched their MVP, at that particular, everything should be free on their platform. No. It's a value you're rendering. If you're on your platform, they are there because you are actually giving them value. Even for that limited features, please charge them. It's okay to say, I have freemium, but go for pro version. Even with that limited feature. I think this one is clear enough. Price for profit. I've seen lots of startups. This is not particular to just some segment. Lots of them across many sectors. And we just want to break even first. And they are now standing. They're telling us on the investment side that when we now get the money, it will take us a year. No. Investor money should never be your profit. People are banking on investor money as a replacement for their profits. And I've seen that game being played over and over again. Because their business is not actually bringing in true profit and revenue for them. Sorry, true profit. They want to now use investor money to run the business. You should only use investor money for a couple of things. Expansion. You want to expand. You want connection. Sometimes you don't need the money. You just want that money to come in because people actually put their energy where their money is. So you want those investors to come and help you, to take you to some rooms. So just to give you an example, I told you the other time that next week I'm going to be in Abuja and so for a particular reason. And I'm going to share with you. A particular guy who is trying to build something in the US, is a US guy. So he reached out to me. He's trying to build it in Nigeria. But not only Nigeria, he's trying to test other markets as well, like Kenya. He's currently in Kenya. He's coming to Nigeria tomorrow. So Kenya, Nigeria, and India. Those are the three markets. Bangladesh, he was thinking about Bangladesh, but we'll rule it out at some point. So for him to discover whether Nigeria is the market he should launch in, the product is already, we have the features and everything, and it has been tested somewhere manually before. So for him to know whether Nigeria is the market or not, we need to now sit with people that will buy it. But because the product is unique, because it's to the government and to institutions. So now we need to sit with the government to know how they feel about it. So we're sitting with governments of Nigeria, Kenya, and India, in India markets as well. Do you understand my point? At the end of the day, we want to see if there is actually this business, if it's going to be profitable in Nigeria, or there will be more profits in Kenya or India. That's where we want to start from. So always ensure that you price for profits. You don't need to go bankrupt. You don't need to be breaking even. What does that even mean? You can break even 2 months, 3 months. That's okay. That's pardonable. But beyond that, you should be making your own profits and let investors come in for expansion. So we've been talking about don't code, code, no code, stuff like that. But when exactly are you supposed to code? So when, like that lady that I talked about the other time, when your manual operation is extremely overwhelming, you cannot sleep well again. I mean, I told my friend, that was a week ago actually, because 3 weeks ago / 2 weeks ago, I was actually diagnosed of what they call short-term insomnia. I've never heard that before. I used to know insomnia itself, but short-term insomnia. And they said, you have to be resting. But look at this. I wanted to sleep. I will go to bed at the right time. When I say right time, maybe 11 or 12. But I actually wanted to wake up by 6 a.m., sometimes 5 a.m. But by 1, by 2, my eyes are wide open. Because even in my dream, I was sitting with founders. We were talking. I was writing their PRDs. I was going. So really, that dream, it was like as if I was still working. So more often than not, I would just wake up. So they now gave me some things to be, not drugs now, but some exercise to be doing, some of those funny things. I just had to do them, but it's working, at least. So when you get to that point, that's when you start to think about, it is time for us to start coding now. Consistent revenue providing demand, when you can say we have so MRR. It's something that people quote a lot. And when we dive deep, we realize that nothing did there. It's just 1 month that they received that revenue. And after that time, nothing came out. And they will quote, we are making $20,000 MRR. Hey, tell us about it. So which means the first month you launched in 2013 or 2023, you made this for this month. Up to now, you are making $20,000. No, they would not say, no. It was actually when we launched. So you should be having this consistent, recurring revenue. That's when you will know that it is time for us to start building our solution. You can predict that by next month, we cannot have less than this. Okay. So for this particular solution you want to build, you know for sure that there will be return on investment because it's an investment. Trust me, to build good software. It's not very common in this part of the world to see actual good software, and I'm saying it as a tech person, you see people build rubbish. When you use it, it's going to work. But tell them, from that point where that company is, let them try to scale. You would think you are playing, is it Jenga game they call it? When you pull something like this, everything will collapse. So we've seen software like that. So for you to build an actual good, great software, there are certain things you should do, and it's a lot of investment to put in. Now you put in this investment without clear understanding that you're going to have return on that investment. That's going to be crazy. So you should have that. The last one, which is sad to say, but certain times you can get to this point where you are beginning to lose customers because you cannot handle their demands. That time you should know that it's time for us to automate our process, expand your processes and stuff like that. That is when you should build. When you are beginning to say, sorry, we cannot take you at this point. We really love you, but we'll call you back when we can. That's when you should start building solution. But when I say build solution, at least by now with this journey, you already know what I mean when I say build solution. You build around the experience. Let's go. So, these are the immediate action plan. But I want to say something before I go. When people are building, because we are the emerging markets, more often than not, there is no true innovation again. You see something over there, you want to replicate here. But the problem is that you do not put into context the cultural context. Every country, every region, they have their own way that they behave. Like I mentioned about the rural area thing the other time. Imagine you are from Lagos, you got up in Lagos here, and all your life you've been in Lagos. And someone is telling you, I mean, especially if you were brought up in maybe like Lekki all through your life, someone is telling you that there are some parts of this country that they don't have bank accounts. They don't have a way to send money from one place to the other. I mean, it will baffle you. And you want to build solution for every part of the country. Especially when you're dealing with go-to-markets. I was with a particular founder yesterday. So he's trying to build a fintech in Egypt. And this fintech, while he's building for adults, he also wants to build for teens. People between 6 to 17. And he wants to have an extension to like 22. You understand? But the problem there is that he thinks that these teens, he thought about them in a different way. So he wanted to launch into their own market without knowing them. I said, this will never work. I said, you have kids, right? I said, yes. How old are they? He said that they are also teenagers. I said, ask them few questions first. Let them tell you their experience. Then ask other folks. Because you are trying to do children banking. And you want the children to be on wait list. He said, I will just gather the wait list. When they share with their friend, they move off the wait list. I said, okay, what are you telling them that is the advantage of moving from where they are to the upper side of the wait list? He said, there is nothing. I said, so you want children to wait on top of, say, they want to put money on your platform? I said, nobody. I said, go and ask them. So, ensure you understand the cultural context. Many of you may know a platform called CDK. You know it because you use it. Few reasons why you're using CDK, and I'll tell you. When you check their products, if you've bought from CDK before, their products are actually very good. Unlike, say, you go to popular e-commerce platform where when you get something from them, it may work, it may not work. And you now start to deal with refund, return policies, all those things. So on CDK, because they stock their own products, they don't deal with multi-vendors, you're sure that you're getting quality. The second thing is that when you check the price there, it's either lower than that of Jumia. And I will tell you the main reason why people go to CDK is because by 50%, if you have 50% of the money required to buy that gadget, you can take the gadget. You know, that's how they work, right? But when the guy was actually thinking about that product, he's a street guy. When I say street guy, not like street guy. I mean, he knows, he's a guy, you know. So he knows how people behave. And he knows that in this country, when I tell you come and borrow money from me, the part of you is saying that if I borrow that money, I'm actually going, spending beyond my means. That's what it means. So he knows that when he tells people, come and take loan to buy gadgets, it doesn't make so much sense to them to buy phone. I want to buy an iPhone, and now I want to borrow money from him. Doesn't make sense. You ask me, just wait for your time. To be honest, that's what people will say. Wait for your time. Wait for when you have the actual money before you buy. So why are you rushing? So they will call you materialistic. Is that not it? But the guy changed it. You are still borrowing money. You are still materialistic. But only that is telling you, come and save your money with me. At 50%, out of my goodwill, I will release the product to you. Come back. Come and pay me back. So if an average Nigerian will think about it, am I taking loan or what exactly am I doing? I'm actually saving. He's just out of his goodwill giving it to me. And he's giving it to you with the mindset that, I mean, he has changed your orientation in the way that, because if he's giving it to you, if it's the product is 1 million naira on Jumia, and you get to his platform and it's maybe 1.5 million naira, you would think, surely I'm taking loan. But what he did was that he went to the source to buy the product from the source, like the distributors, not even the wholesalers, the distributors. So these are the distributors that are selling to the wholesalers, that are selling to retailers, that are selling on Jumia. You can see the markup that has gone down the line. So he then he will look at the retailers that are selling on Jumia and see the price that they're selling. More often than not, it's usually like around 20-30% profit from the distributor. But he's getting his own directly from the distributor. So the interest he's supposed to charge you for taking loan from him is already getting it from that 2-3 chain profit. That is how it is. That is how to solve a real problem. And everybody is going to him because he understands the market, he understands the context, he understands the people. So things that you should take out of this. I'm closing now. Evaluate your idea. We've talked about it. How you should evaluate your idea, if it is good or not. Connect with resources. There are a lot of resources right now. Maybe, I want to believe you like my slides, right? They are beautiful. Is that not it? You will think that I will sit down, design this slide. It will take me like 2 days to design this slide, but I use 1 minute to design this entire slide. I know what I want to tell you. I wrote them down. I itemized them. I then copied what I've written down. I pasted it on Gamma AI. And it gave me this slide within 1 minute. Is that not good? So connect with resources that you have around you now. The one that you can just use it to test within a day, within 2 days, put it together within a week maximum to start doing your stuff. And then get personalized guidance. There are some people that have been there. Do you understand? That have been there, they've launched a couple of things, they've done a couple of things. Seek their guidance. Let them mentor you. Let them work with you along the journey. One of the things that I've seen founders do nowadays is that they bring experts from industry to come and be on their board of advisors. It's the smartest way to say, come and work with me, but I will not pay you. Thank you very much.
So, thank you. Yes, we are taking questions. So, just shameless plug. Yesterday, the newsletter was on how to use board of advisors. So, you see. All right, so we're taking questions. Just 4 questions. So, if your question is not in line with what he said, I won't let him answer your question. So, let's start with the first lady in front.
Hi, thank you very much. My name is Romla Shita, and I've not started building yet. So we're building my team and I are building a legal tech product. We want to, we seek to, and then I noticed, from where I met, you speaking, you were talking about when you're ready to code. Well, I kind of like found it a little confusing when you were saying, go and know your market, how much you're going to be charging, when, find customers that are ready to use your product before you even start building and things like that. Yeah. I'm kind of like not following because I'm like, okay, what exactly do you want to sell to them? Are you just selling your idea to them? Of course you have probable solutions and stuff, but you're not definite yet. How do you navigate that kind of situation? Because I think that's exactly where I'm at right now. We've not started building yet, but we have very solid solutions we think would be able to solve a certain problem that's affecting the Nigerian judiciary. So I think I would like you to elaborate in that respect.
Okay, thank you so much. I mentioned something probably before you came about starting with an experience. And I'm going to give you a practical, I like to give an example. There is a product we're currently building within Deveote right now. It's like a child company to my company, right? So how we came about that was when we started Deveote, what we're doing essentially is to work with founder, like build with them, like their co-founder, launch with them and do whatever it is and set up their team. We talked to over 50 founders within 2 weeks. And we realized that the outcome of those meetings is resulting to, I want to hire technical talent. How can you give me technical talent? I want to do this. How can you give me technical talent? Even though we're still working with them. And at the end of working with them, we need to still set up their team. And there was a company that reached out to me from Dubai. They want to hire 100 Nigerian technical talent. Yes. Imagine I'm leading Deveote. I have another startup that I'm working on. And I will have to sit down in interview to hire 100 candidates. It doesn't make sense. I should just shut down the company. Let me focus on hiring now. And people are already paying. I mean, this company in UAE, they already sent the money. I said, I cannot do this, because I will just kill myself. And the reason why they're doing that is because I've hired for over 130 portfolio companies from Future Africa. And the track record has been that it's very rare for me to make mistakes when hiring technical talent. So what we are now doing, what are we doing right now? I'm already making money on that line, but I'm overwhelmed right now, right? You see that I didn't wait for any product. I'm already doing it the way I know it to be done. So now we're building like a system that is AI powered. So just the same way I will interview them, the same way I will evaluate this talent, right? They will go through that process, and then we want to turn it to, when I say marketplace, I think it's overused, but just pardon me. In marketplace, where you as a founder, you come, you have your budget, you have your requirement, and you pick a candidate within 1 minute. Is that not good? Because people naturally go through this process for like 3 months, 2 months. So when I built a couple of legal products, if you've heard about My Law before, Act Response, one other one, I've forgotten their name now. I was actually the one that built those platforms. These are legal platforms. And they have different models. So before we started building, My Law, for example, because it's like we sachetize the process, the legal process. Before you can see a lawyer today, you pay certain amount of money before you can even sit in front of him and discuss your thing. You're trusting him that it's going to be good, isn't it? But we now sachetize that process, whereby there is that platform. You just come to it. What do you need? You don't need to pay anybody for consultation. I need to draft some documents. I need somebody to follow me to police station because I have police invitation. Yes. Before you can even see a lawyer to follow you, you know the process you're going to follow. Imagine coming to that platform, not paying anything, and only pay for what you need. We've been doing that outside of the platform. And we now saw how people are buying into it, paying for it. That was the reason why we built the platform. Does that make sense to you?
So you have not built products before you started.
No, we've not.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. If you do it well, because we had like situation room where we had lawyers, like 3 lawyers, right? So we were already taking calls. People were calling in. So when we decided to actually build the product was when the calls were like too much. Do you understand? So that was it. And
Okay.
I realized that you were hesitant to share what you're building. Here's the thing. At least I've talked about few things that I'm currently building here. Because go and build it. Go and try it now. If it is, do it now. I mean, because there are a couple of things that are integrated in this. We're not just talking about the tech. If you know how to build the tech, go and build it. That's fine. Do you know the customers? Do they trust you enough to put money and say, hire 100 candidates for me? Do you even know the process of evaluation? So I'm so sure of what I carry. That's why I would just allow you, just go and duplicate that idea. Go and launch it. So you should get to that point where you can even tell them, don't tell them the secret sauce, but tell them what you're doing. Until I know what you're doing before I can invest in you.
Okay, sorry. What I wanted to ask, just from what she said. So, you talked about the My Law something where you were getting customers even before you did the
product.
The product, yeah. So now you have an idea, right? And you have not, just from what you said, you don't need to go and build the software first. Just do it manually and get all those stuff before you go there. So from the My Law that you mentioned, how were you able to get those customers that were calling you, that overwhelmed you, before you now went into building the software?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
We had a landing page. That's the software. We had a landing page. mylaw.so. Go to this. We advertise everywhere. Or everywhere on social media, you find it. All events, because we're also targeting tech folks, right? All the tech events you go, you see the banner. You see with booths, their My Law booths. You go there, it's, they share pen, they share sweets with you, and stuff like that. But you go to that website, what do you see? You see their landing page. Click on this, so. Call this number right now. Imagine you need to maybe evaluate a particular document. I mean, if they send you your job description, employment contract, you can review it by yourself. But there are some contracts that are like 50 pages that when you say whereas, when I'm reviewing all those documents, whereas, therefore, you think you understand English until you read a true legal contract. So when you have that, you now have a platform that is saying that do not pay for consultation fee. Go to My Law today and call so number or fill a particular Google form. I mean, you see the button there. You click on it, but it takes you to Google form. You don't care because you have that need. You need to respond to those folks that sent you that document like tomorrow. And they're telling you they're going to do it right now for you. You're going to call that number. And I'm going to share just a little experience with you. This caused a fight between myself and E. That was in 2020. We wanted to build a product. It's an asset-backed product. It's a very complex, crazy platform. He said, can we use WordPress to build this platform? I stood back. I was like, what's this guy saying? Because that thing sounded like mediocre way of implementing something. But I didn't know that it was actually talking from experience. I said, no, that's not possible. Why will you be? I don't want to talk about the platform. It's a very crazy platform. And we're actually building an infrastructure, not just some products that everybody can use. An infrastructure that huge platform can leverage to build their own technology. I said, why will you build that kind of, technical people in the room, you cannot build that kind of platform with WordPress. But what he was saying is, can we build a landing page? We shall fought. We agreed. And then I built a landing page. It was actually the following week. He told me that there's actually $500,000 that was sent to us from a customer. When we finally built that product, we used the 500K to build the product, not the entire 500K. We used maybe like 20K or so to set up the team and all that. We built the product within 3 months. He did not tell me. The day we were ready to launch that product, he said, we are not launching. He said, there's a company in the US. They've been running their operations for so long, but they've been waiting to have a platform like ours to run their operation. But they don't want to be customer, but they want to merge with us. That was the day we did the merger. We had customer. We never launched. If I mention the name of the product right now, you never heard it before, Access Stack. Because the name doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's a merger, right? And we cashed out from it. Does that make sense to you?
All right, so I'll take a question online. So this is a bit complex, but if this is a solution that involves information and it's being solved with WhatsApp groups and different platforms, but we want to build an app where all the information can be received from one place, I'm thinking that with this situation, I might have to start with an app, but I'm looking at starting with the no-code app first. Are there better options than this? I don't know if you get that.
I got it. I would have loved to see the person because I wanted to ask a follow-up question. That today, are they overwhelmed doing that? You should have a CRM. And that CRM is somebody talk to you because that's what we're doing in my company right now. At least people that have been to our website before, Deveote.com, if you've been to our website before, you will see where you fill the form and you tell us your ID and all that. It goes to a particular CRM. But however, some people will still call me by their on phone to explain their idea to me. I must find a way to pass that information back to the CRM. So until when all of those trials, as they've become super overwhelming that it's already affecting me, it's already affecting my team, affecting our growth, before we start to think about application. You may not even build a CRM, it's because okay, let me tell you. If you've heard about directors before, how many people have heard about directors? Directors, if I will put it that way. So, you've heard about Strappy before. Have you heard about Strappy before? Do we have technical people in the room? Okay, these are like low-code tools. So that directors, if you have like a developer, it will set it up for you within 2 minutes. And you can use it to build anything you want to build within less than an hour. That's what we use to build our CRM. I don't have to. I'm a technical person. I can code it. But I will never do that until there is a need for it. So when I mention CRM, I'm not talking about building some fancy stuff. No. I built it within 30 minutes. So we're putting all this information there, and I think that's where the person should start from. Until when they now get to a point where they are extremely overwhelmed, they can even use Airtable. They can use Excel. Thank you, Google Forms and all that. Use all these platforms, find a convergence, and then until when it's already overflowing, you will now think, oh, it is time. And when you are building that app, please, people should understand what they call MVP. It's called MVP for a reason, minimum viable product. What it is that your customers are talking about all the time, what it is that they are requesting all the time. That should be the crust of that application first, and you can expand from there.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the explanations and the lecture. My name is Simbiat, and I am a sales professional. So right now, I have a co-founder that we're bouncing off some ideas together. And I want to ask you 3 questions, basically. The first one is, when solving a problem, when you're trying to build a solution, must it be a problem that you have faced yourself, or a problem that you have discovered through research, and then later on you build authority in that space? So that's my first question.
Okay, let me answer them one after the other.
Okay.
That's actually a very interesting question. Because you might have not actually faced that problem yourself, maybe, just maybe, out of this meeting as I'm talking, you heard me say something and you realize that, oh, maybe I should start solving for this. Personally, you've not experienced it. But what will give, and I thank you for mentioning gaining authority in that field, because you must gain authority there. What I mean by that is, it might not be you particularly. You should understand your strength and your weakness. Let's say something in sales now. Let's say you are not the one that conceived that idea. Maybe it's the person that conceived the idea is somewhat, maybe a lawyer, maybe a medical doctor or someone. The person wants to go ahead with that idea, but he doesn't know anything there. But in what he knows for sure is that Symbiote, right? She is a professional salesperson. The person will call you and say, can we partner together? That's the whole reason for partnership. I have people, so the person might have customers, but he doesn't have execution strategy and the authority in that space. He now call you to come around, and you will see this a lot. So certain times you can bring the person as a co-founder, but if you have a little bit of cash, you can put the person on payroll, so that you will use the person for two things. And it's important to understand it, because many founders, they are value driven too much that they don't understand what they call optics. You should also look good out there, both to investors and to your customers. So certain times, maybe you are building legal platform. Like she said, I'm not a legal professional, but I've conceived this particular idea. So what I would do, maybe I'm being conservative. I don't want to bring in a co-founder right now. I can say, come and be part of my team. The reason why I'm saying that is that she can direct me on how they do legal services, but also so that I can put it on my pitch deck and on my website that Chief Legal Officer. No investor will ask me, do you understand that? You know they see Chief Legal Officer here. Do you understand? That is value and optics. You should be able to manage the two at the same time. Your second question.
So for my second question, I wanted to ask around the idea when you said we should do no code around around our ideas before actually coding.
Yeah.
So in a case where the idea you're executing is automation itself, for example, the Gamma software that you used in building this, the idea itself is the the automation of PowerPoint.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So what should we do in such?
Those guys that built Gamma, the reason why we trust them, maybe I won't say we as African, the people that first adopted it, is because they know that they are actually authority in the process of create. They cannot design a system, automation system that will design a beautiful stuff like this if they don't understand the process of actually designing a very beautiful PowerPoint. If you've seen some ATS platform, CV platform, I think the Piggyverse folks, they share their story, how they did, is it pushed CV they did, right? They've actually been doing the CV thing manually, bring CV and all that. They didn't build a particular platform around it. So there has to be one with an authority in that space. Like this one now is an automation tool, but there has been some things going on in the background before. Maybe super manual or semi-automated, but it didn't get here the first day. There was a journey.
So what you're saying is we should find a way.
You have to. Because it's a lot of money to build incredible software. And it's a lot of time you are going to waste through that. You don't want to waste your time. You don't have time to even waste. But trust me, every problem you want to solve is a valid problem. You can either pivot from mode of execution, and that's why I always tell people, do not marry. You can marry to your problem, the problem you want to solve. You can tightly marry to it, but never get attached to the way you want to solve it. The market will dictate how you're going to solve it for them, but you're still solving a valid problem. Every problem is a valid problem to be solved.
Thank you so much. So the last question is on the pricing strategy. You said there is always a price that the market is comfortable with.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask what your thoughts are on the three-level pricing model, where you have a cash cow, that is the very low pricing to
Yeah.
attract people. Then you move them to the medium pricing and then the premium. So what is your thoughts? I mean, what is your idea on that? What is your thought process on that? Going into market.
I believe you must have seen different platforms with different pricing model. There are some, they will tell you, this is what we charge. Let's use ChatGPT, for example, or Claude or whatever. When they launched, they told us it's free for everybody. But they wrote something on their logo, if you can still remember. They wrote beta on their logo that time, telling you that, look, oh, enjoy as much as you can for now. We are coming back. And when they came back, they didn't deprive you of what you've been used to. They said, continue now. But now we have a pro, and it was just $20. There was no other pricing model around that time. They wanted to see reaction of the market, and market gushed in. Now they now have $200. But they still kept people. They didn't deprive them of all what they used to. So that's the pricing model. There's another one where you now have steps, tiers. You will see which one are people like doing more, subscribing to more, and then you then add more value around that. So it's actually a deep go-to-market strategy that differs from one company to the other.
All right.
You should study your audience. You will know what to. You can't be asking Nigerians to be paying $200 for a subscription.
Okay. So we have questions online, and it turns out we have a lot of questions. So
This has been streamed.
yeah, it is.
Okay. I hope
Okay.
I've not said what they don't like.
So I'm just going to take some of the questions. Apologies in advance. I may not take all because there are quite a number here. Okay, so we are building a platform that connects smallholder farmers across Nigeria directly with buyers. Though we have already built a prototype and have carried out a market interest survey through Google Forms, we are yet to launch an MVP, which I think the root cause lies in the disinformation of software before the solution. How do you think we can achieve that right now? Also, what else? I said no funding questions. Okay, so that's...
It's about funding, right?
No, the first one is how do you think we can achieve that? So I don't know.
Achieve what exactly?
I'll take this part again. We have already built a prototype and have carried out a market interest survey through Google Forms. We are yet to launch an MVP, which I think the root cause lies in the disinformation of software before the solution. How do you think we can achieve that right now? I don't know if...
So they did software before the solution, or solution
I'm
before
not...
So
I mean, this part...
From what I can get from what the person is asking, there are fundamental problems there that I've seen already. Carrying out customer survey through Google Forms, people are going to smile and click, and you will never get the... They will be telling you yes, but they're actually telling you no. This is strictly from experience. If you've experienced it before, if you've personally filled a survey before, you understand what I mean. Because you want to look good, especially if it's someone you know that sent it to you. And no matter how the anonymity that they promise you, you know that they know you. So really, and the crust of the question that the person is trying to, I'm not entirely sure I understand what the person is trying to ask. They've made a mistake of putting software before the solution or something. But if I just want to answer what they're doing, because I've advised a couple of people that are doing stuff in the agricultural space, is the easiest space to actually work in. Because the people that you are dealing with, they don't even appreciate software in the first place. So all you need to gather are the manpower, workforce, that will go and be their friend. And when I say be their friend, I don't know if you've seen founder narrate their story. I mean, successful founder narrates their story before. So there was a particular founder that was talking to me that he will go to his, because he was doing B2B. I'm not asking you to do this. He will go to his customer's house to fetch water with them. Not for them, he's not their slave. But if he meets them fetching water, they will fetch this water together. They will do things together. just for them to be with them. So you deploy a workforce. Let them do actually, they are the one that will do the work. Let them put all of these things on Excel sheets. All these prototype, we launch prototype farming in agriculture. Because I won't mention the name. Maybe it was TechPoint that carried this news recently. We invested in a particular startup. Don't let me mention their space as well. But the space they were in is a space where you're supposed to sprinkle technology on top of the business. You know when you are adding seasoning to your food, right? You're supposed to just sprinkle technology just to have like some system here and there. But these people, they went above $100,000 valuation, but today they were being priced as $2 million. Sorry, they went above $100 million valuation, but now they are being priced at $2 million. We invested in them. I'm talking from direct experience. When I was talking to them, realized that even for their finances, where they're supposed to use QuickBooks, these guys built their own type of QuickBooks in-house. They were spending $45,000 for tech staffs alone per month, not per year. On AWS, they were spending $15,000. On top of, sorry, don't let me go into what they're doing. Once I mention what they do, you will know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so I currently have a landing page for my startup with a wait list.
Okay.
I've been doing social media campaigns and spoken to at least 3 potential customers. But my target is to get at least 200 people to join the wait list and then potentially introduce a simple product I can charge for. It's almost a month of campaign and no one is joining the wait list. Yeah. How long do you think we should do this before concluding it's not a sellable product?
I'm glad you guys are laughing, because the truth of the matter is that what exactly are you putting on that landing page? Maybe for some people that follow me, last year, based on this recruitment thing that I'm talking about, because I've exhausted people that were around me that I trust so much about referring them to jobs and all that. So I wanted to expand my network of trusted developers. I put it out there, this same information I'm talking about, I want to expand. And in less than 24 hours, I got 1,000 people that filled that form. Thank you. And just 2 days ago, I put out a post I wanted to hire like 6 Flutter engineers because the sister company reached out to me. Within, I think it was even less than 6 hours, I got 400 candidates. So look, because it said something that before they now build, sorry, can you repeat that statement? Before they build something that they can put to customers' face or something.
Okay, so my target is to get at least 200 people to join the wait list and then potentially introduce a simple product I can charge for.
That's the thing. The guy that I said was showing Figma design in a conference, he was showing them something actual. Designed something, put up something, show them, took a screenshot of what you possibly have designed, show them the experience they're going to. It's not ready yet, but we are cooking it. So you won't tell them that more or less just wait till we are. This is ready. It's what we call storytelling. There's an act of storytelling which many founders are actually lacking. I don't have time to talk about it today. If you can tell your story very well, so for you to understand what I mean by storytelling, go to our website. You'll see. So what I wanted to show you on my website, I wanted you to actually feel like I'm sitting beside you and I'm narrating a story. If you go through our website, you will see what I'm talking about. So if you tell them this story of just wait a bit and we will build for you later on, nobody will come. They will wait till forever. But if you told them this is what you will get, people will jump at it.
All right. So I think we'll take the last question from the online audience. I and my team are building a SaaS product for logistics companies.
For what?
For logistics companies, private-owned logistics companies, to streamline their service. Do we really need the logistics on our waitlist before we launch?
Okay, this is B2B now.
Yeah, B2B.
When we're talking about waitlist, While it's still waitlist, but I don't want to use the word waitlist. No, I don't want to use the word waitlist, but it's actually still waitlist. They need these folks at least, because when we are dealing with B2B, maybe not 10, you need at least 5. Or if you have strong 3, that's still okay. The reason why I didn't say 1, because some people will say, we are talking to GIG Logistics. But GIG Logistics can change their mind. A friend of mine, very close friend of mine, he was building a particular solution, right? And he raised, because people trust him so much, he raised $50,000 just sharp by just talking to somebody. $50,000. He then went to build this product because it's B2B. A company has promised him that we're going to integrate with you. So he built the entire experience around that company, just one. But things, when it was done, when it's done with the 50K, when he has finished everything, the company told him, you see, which was genuine. Currently, some things are happening in our organization, and we will not be able to do this deal anymore. To be honest with you, that was the end of that business. It declared bankruptcy immediately. So you need to have at least 3 strong. If they are not so strong, have 5 at least for B2B. Get their requirements. In fact, there is a particular term that is being used in the industry right now. They will come to you and say, we want to co-build with you. That is, the founder will go to those B2B and say, I want to co-build with you. So they will be telling him, even every step of the way, he will be testing it with them, just like, more or less like their team members. So people are using that strategy right now, and it's working really well.
All right. Okay. So we just take one more question from. Sorry.
All right. Thank you so much. So I observed something, right? You were kind of, I think the analogy could be related to the egg and chicken situation. So the product is the egg, which you're now like hatch into the chicken. That's those who are going to pay. But then you're asking us actually to have the chicken before the egg. Those paying us before they can lay, can like have the product that can now get more clients and actually make things easier. Yeah. But I was thinking about it, right? The conditions you are giving requires expertise and authority.
Yes.
Now, most people here, we're just young. We're trying to build something. We're excited. We're just innovative. We don't have the authority. We don't have the experience. We never have access to the people that you're asking us to bring on board to like give us that credence to what we're building. Yeah. So are we going to like abandon everything and wait till we have access to all these? Or are we still going to like build? Because it's not always going to work that we can have the chicken, right, before the egg. So because it was kind of messing up my head in a way, like what I'm saying is like contradicting everything we've been doing. Yeah. For example, I read the story of when he built Angela with the other guys and all that. He just came out of school and then started building and all that. So I'm looking at that condition. How do we? I think you should touch that
maybe
a
the
bit
part
more.
That you didn't hear about his story is when he connected with Jeremy Johnson. They had to take train to Jeremy Johnson's place. But let me give you 2 examples, and it will explain this really quickly. In 2018, I guess, or 2019, I realized that Nigerians, they like to buy used phones, right? UK, they call it UK used. And I saw that demand, a lot of demand around me. And I interviewed a couple of folks as well. They said they're comfortable. In fact, they cannot buy new is these, new is that, that what we normally have here. And I was like, this is business. But I've never dealt with buying and selling of gadgets before in my life. So I didn't know how it works. But I remember a particular guy that I got connected to, though I wanted to buy a new phone at that time, right? But I got connected to him, and the way we talked, the way we did things and together in the market that day, I realized that he actually knows everybody in that market. So I called him. I said, this is what I want to do. I know that you, when they're talking about computer village, you are the computer village. I said, I want to partner with you. But I also, as much as I know my customer, I also know my partner. I know that that guy, I cannot promise him equity. He's a computer village guy now. I said, for everything that we sell, I will give you this percentage. That's revenue share, not equity. And we started to do things. So we didn't build any platform. So I started to talk to my friend. When you want to buy your phone, or come and meet me. I have authority in computer village. I mean, get computer village, stuff like that. No, I don't know the computer village very well that time. So my friend will now tell me they want to buy stuff and all that. So we encounter a couple of problems. And that's why I said you should start manually, right? People are already ordering through me. I don't have any platform. They're just sending me messages. But we now realize that we bought some gadgets from some people, and those gadgets were faulty. They were not good. They will package something else inside it and all that. So there was one particular case that happened. We went there. We picked up the phone, not knowing that the phone is refurbished. It's not a good phone at all. We went back there. We didn't meet that guy. It was a shop. And they said they didn't know this guy. I was like, I saw you the other time now. Said, so we encountered that problem, and we encountered it multiple times. And I asked this guy, I said, the reason why I approached you in the first place to be my partner is because you know this place. He said, brother, I'm also selling here. It's not that I don't have authority here. I said, who has authority here? He said there is an association called Cap Down. That's the abbreviation, Cap Down. He said they have a president. I said, I want to know the president. He said he doesn't have his contact. So I had to look for people that has his contact. I set up a meeting with him. I said, sir, I'm not requesting you to do any buying and selling for me. I just want you to stand beside me. I want you to stand by me at all time. And I will give you, because this is a very well-educated guy. I said, I will give you so percentage of my company. He was happy. We shook hands, and that was it. So anytime we bought things from Computer Village, whenever it's faulty, so there was one particular day, I just called him, sir, something has happened. Sent task force. As those guys saw me with task force, they have not said anything. They brought out the guy. Do you understand? And that was how we gained authority there. Myself, I didn't know anything about the operations of Computer Village, but I surrounded myself with partners that know those stuff. Do you understand? So that's an example that I will give to you, because it's actually, you will see a couple of times where they say students of a particular university, they launch this particular product. How did they gain the experience? You go and check their board. They have elderly people with gray hair. I'm building a product right now, which we are launching in India. But the person we have to bring on board, because I personally don't know Indian markets quite well, right? I've never been to India before. And the space we are launching in is also a space I've never dealt in before. So, God so good. I know somebody who knows somebody that knows a particular guy in India. So the guy was actually the one that built Google Maps. And he was the co-founder of Google Maps in India. But he has retired to now build his own studio right now. His name is Lalitesh. So I got introduced to him, and we're building together now. So now, what will happen is that I'm not the one that will launch in India. We'll partner together. He will build according to Indian market, because he knows their market, and then he will launch it because people trust him. He's an authority in India. They must buy. Why won't they? Do you understand now? So that's how it is. It's easy. Yes. Yes.
All right. So I think that's the last question we're taking.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right.